Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Gailify and my name is Abigail. You're all warmly welcome. If you're new here, you are very welcome to the channel. So like I said in my previous video, I've started a new series called Gailify Let's Fix This. So we talk about real life problems, things that you're going through, things that I'm going through, things that everybody is kind of like thinking about, but perhaps not really saying it. And we try to make sense of them. So today we're going to talk about why everyone kind of feels like they're behind. There's this constant universal feeling where everybody feels like they're behind, myself included. Why? Why do we feel like this? And how do we make sense of this? Let's get into the video. I want to start with something that I'm really grateful for. We do have a lot more opportunities now actually to get ahead in life. We're connected to worldwide channels. We're connected to opportunities all over the world. You know, we've got links to people like never before. We've got connections that we can build. Like if you've taken up like LinkedIn, you have access to like world-class leaders, global influencers, to entrepreneurs that we can connect with. You know, we've got a lot of resources, but we still have this nagging constant feeling that you probably are behind. Now, why is this feeling so universal? There must be something that we're kind of like judging ourselves to, or comparing ourselves to say that we're behind, because it's a relative position, isn't it? Someone has to be in front for you to feel like you're behind. Now you might see your age mate, you know, getting married, buying houses, being able to afford a very lavish lifestyle, you're going on vacations that you can only dream of, and you think about it and you're like, why can't I afford all of these things? Or why am I not able to get these? Or why does this person seem like they're way ahead of me, even though they're younger than me or we're the same age? The problem is we don't really know what it means to be on track. Like what is the limit? What's the timeline? How do we tell if someone is actually on time? And how do we know if someone is actually progressing? Because as far as I'm aware, everybody's different and we're all on our own journeys. So it's quite tricky. There is no set limit or timeline as to when things should be done. If you take the general societal structures that are in place and that are out there, it makes sense that we're all expected to be in a certain place at a certain age. For instance, we're all expected to start school by 5 years, 6 years. We're all expected to be done with year 12 by a certain age. If you want to go into college, if you want to go into university, there's an age that we're expected to finish that by. So from like the beginning of life up until the end of school age, everything is almost prescribed for us. And the real problem is when people leave school and we all get thrown into the real world and there is no fixed rule on how to progress or what to do or where to go from like being in school. That is where the problem is, because then it's like, oh my god, what do I do? What is the next thing for me to do? There's so many pathways, aren't there? Like there's so many careers to choose from, there's so many jobs out there, there's so many things that people want to do with their lives, some of which might bring them money, some of which might not. There's so many decisions about life, about building a family, perhaps marrying. All of these things are out there after school, and it's like the whole world is so big with so many choices that we don't even know what to do. So why does this feeling exist? Well, I think it's because we're comparing a lot. So like I said, basic school structure, we know what we expect, we know what is expected of us. But after school, I think because we haven't got a strict prescription of what must be done, we tend to compare ourselves to each other. Number two, there is a lot of pressure. So we feel like, oh my god, we got to achieve this by this age. And it's fine to set goals, but sometimes we give ourselves unrealistic goals. And life happens. You know, you might plan to do stuff and then something would happen that would interrupt that process. So how do we address this? Number one, the main thing is to stop comparing yourselves to others. And I know it's hard, and I do this a lot myself, but I'm learning to stop doing that, because the problem is you hardly see into the lives of the people that you're comparing yourselves to. A lot of the people that you're comparing yourselves to, you're only seeing the highlights of their lives. So they might post successes. It all looks beautiful, but I tell you, life is way more messier than that. There's a lot going on that they might not be showing you. You know, they might not be telling you about the depths that they have. They might not be telling you about the broken hearts that they have gone through. They might not be telling you about the anxiety that they're having, the sleepless nights, the peace they haven't got. You know, so they might not be telling you about all of these things. Now, I'm not saying every successful person has problems, but it's not always a perfect picture. It's not always like positive. We're all battling with something. Every single person is battling with something. But the thing is, we don't project that side of our lives. And it'll be good if we were projecting, you know, the good side and the challenges. But a lot of people would only project the success stories. So if you do compare yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're not actually looking at all of the things that you're surviving, the challenges that you're pushing yourself through, all of the wonderful things that you're managing to achieve on a day-to-day. And perhaps it's good to connect with this person if you can, to see you know, ways that they can support you, and how to learn from their process, you know, the challenges that they might be going through, just to ground yourself, you know, and get yourself back into reality, reorient yourself to reality. So I'll say that's number one. Number two, you've got to define what ahead means for you. Like I said, everybody's on their own individual journey, and marriage might be a priority for someone, a career might be a priority for someone, children might be a priority for someone. We all have different priorities. We all have our own journeys that we're on. We all have our callings, and I believe we all have divine callings as well, which drives our passions, which drives our decisions, and which drives where we all end up. You know, we're all not going to be business tycoons, billionaires, but we're all, if we heed to this calling and if we get our purpose right, we will all serve in the places that we need to serve. And that's the most important thing, that you are getting that fulfillment, that you are feeling like you are contributing to society, that you know that you are in a place where you need to be. So define what ahead means for you. It'll be best to get a proper plan, perhaps a long-term goal and a short-term goal, and look at what it means for you to make progress. Now, even if you're comparing yourself constructively with someone, you've got to give yourself timelines, and realistic ones. Again, you've got to be realistic about it. So give yourself timelines, give yourself the space and the time to develop the skills that you've got to develop, and check in on yourself from time to time. Are you managing to do the things that you are planning to do? Are you not? If you're not, why are you not achieving them? So it's good to define what it means to actually progress, so that you can celebrate those times. Number three, you've got to focus on the direction and not speed. You know, sometimes life throws us opportunities that we weren't looking for, and those doors can actually speed things up for us. And if that happens to you, that's hallelujah. You know, that's wonderful. Take that opportunity and run with it. But for many of us, life may happen slowly, you know, on a daily, and you've got to obviously take it one step at a time. And you might have things that would happen that would interrupt your process or your progress. So the ultimate thing is to make sure you are doing something to work towards the goal that you want to achieve. The most important thing is to make progress, some kind of progress every day. And like I said, do check in on yourself, ideally on a daily basis, to see what you've done with your day, how what you've done in your day has helped or is helping you to get to that place where you want to be. So my final thoughts are, you know, you might be thinking that you're behind, you might be thinking that you're failing, but the real problem might not be that you're lagging behind or you're failing. It might be because you are comparing yourself to the wrong people. It might be because you're giving yourself too much pressure. It might be because you haven't given yourself a sense of direction. And it might be because you are not celebrating your wins, because you don't even know what the wins look like. So I would say that take that time to draw a life's plan, just a small goal or a big goal, break it down into achievable little bits that you can do every day. and celebrate those wins. Okay, that's your life, that's your pathway. Follow your calling, and don't feel pressured, because like the popular saying, the end justifies the means. At the end of the day, when you get to that point where you are happy, where you are pleased with yourself, you might not be, you know, a famous person, a billionaire, but you will be at that place where you know you are meant to be. So I hope this has been good. These are tips for myself as well, but let me know what you think in the comment section. Kindly like, share and subscribe, and do want to watch my other videos, and keep safe. I will see you next time. Peace out.